This is Just Joya's podcast, and it's brought to you by the Friendship Society. All right, guys. Today, I want to talk to you about the pattern. I don't know about you, but I'm extremely interested in how people are performing at this high level, but I'm really interested to know how do they stay there? It's very consistent. And we all know it's very hard, especially when you're juggling a lot of things, which we know when you are a high performer, you are. Okay, before I jump into the episode, I want you to picture this. Whitney Houston, she's at the height of the bodyguard. The movie is explosive, the soundtrack is even better. This is award season. So Whitney Houston is winning tons of awards. And every single time she takes the stage, she's singing, I Will Always Love You so much. And when she gets ready to hit that note, we're all waiting like, I know this time. I'm going to hear a crack or something. But nothing. Not even when we knew she was facing challenges. Not even at that time. I don't know if you know, but if you know, tell me in the comments. Name a time when she broke. I can never identify it. That led me to believe that there is a pattern. Of course there is. Because if there wasn't, we wouldn't have people like Prince, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. We wouldn't have those people. So what's the pattern? There was a Hungarian-American philosopher by the name of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And he spent about, 50 something years studying what he called flow. Now, let me break that down for you. What he was very much interested in was a certain set of people. He called them geniuses. What interests me about it is that these were athletes, high performers, and also creatives, people who were in music, soloists. But we'll get into that in a second. And he spent 50 years studying. He passed in 2021. But what he found should be required reading to me in any institution of higher learning. He found that in every single person, there's something happening inwardly. And it can only happen when this pattern exists. And I'm going to share it with you. Now, it's called flow, right? And remember, the group of people are athletes, musicians, high performers, geniuses. So what Csikszentmihalyi studied and what he found was that whenever these performers are in this certain state, there's no space, there's no time, there's no recollection of time. Now let me pause. If you're an artist, you've been there. I've been there. I've been there at an open mic. I don't see you. I only hear the band. I don't see the band. The band almost doesn't exist because I'm so far in the song. There's no realm of time, no rhyme or reason. That is called flow. But now wait. Here's what else he found. When studying soloists, improvisationalists. Now, if you give me a Louis Armstrong documentary, I'm there. And I'm going to tell you why. If you've ever watched the man perform, you got to watch him perform, but you got to hear somebody narrating it to appreciate the genius. I don't know where this man's mind is, but this is what this Hungarian-American philosopher is saying. When creatives are in this state, the reason why they perform so high is because they don't have any consciousness of space or time. But how do we get there? Here's the pattern. First, mastery. And then here's the blocker. After one has mastered their craft, only then can they trust. And this is what eliminates butterflies. This is why every single time we saw Whitney Houston take that mic to hit that note that seemed utterly insane, because we knew this is about the 200th time this week she's literally performing live. You know what? Every single time she was in flow. And every single time she was only in flow because first there was mastery, second there was trust, and third there was flow. That is the pattern. There can be no mastery or you hitting a high level of performance without the pattern. It's mastery first, and then after you've mastered something, you'll trust yourself. Because you know what? You and I have been there. Sound check is, it's okay. But then when we get to the show, something happened. Something got lost between an okay sound check, but it wasn't the greatest show. And when we left off that stage, we don't care if 1,000 people were like, oh my God, it was so great. By the time we get back to the dressing room, we're not feeling it because we knew we were off. And do you know why? Because either there was no mastery, and probably there wasn't. Because if there was, we would have trusted it. And if we trusted it, we'd have met flow. But because there was no mastery, we doubted. And that's when you fall off. That's when you crack. That's when you have a, nah, it was okay. The performance was okay. Or, oh, it was the sound. But it was you. So I want you to do an exercise. Here we go. I want you to ask yourself, right now where I am in my craft, am I trusting myself? And if there's something holding me back, what is it? What is the blocker? And how can I get there? You can leave it in the comments for me. I'm going to tell you something. I know for me as a performer, there was something about being regimented. I didn't like it. Whenever I could hit an open mic, I'm free as a bird. But whenever I'm on schedule, it was just so hard. And you know what? That's a mental blocker. It can be easily moved. But those things have to be identified. And that's why it's important for you to work with a team, right? So listen, talk back to me. I like when you talk back to me. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of It's Just Joya. This is Just Joya's podcast, and it's brought to you by the Friendship Society.